All right, good Thursday evening, everybody. Our cold front is still moving through Mississippi. We know where it is because we'll take a look at the winds. You see how they come together there in the Pine Belt. Now, most of the rain well out ahead of the front. We got that yesterday and last night. A little bit of redevelopment today near the Gulf Coast and the eastern part of the Pine Belt, but for the most part, everybody's staying dry on your Thursday, and that's going to be the key word going forward, staying dry, because I think we're going to move into another extended period of dry weather as we round out the month of September and move into the first few days of October. Now, high pressure is coming in behind our front, and that will give us cooler and drier conditions over the next couple of days. Take a look at Live Eye Max 12, and we don't see anything happening there. We got some clouds back off to the east of us. There's been a lot of talk about bird migration across the U.S. Over the past couple of days, and notice there's a little activity around the Jackson radar. That may be what we're looking at there. We've got all these birds flying south at this time of the year, so we see these rings around the radar, not just here, but at a lot of locations across the U.S. All right, no rain though. We don't have any rain coming, and it looks like it is going to stay dry over the next several days. So 72 degrees. It is cooler tonight than last night. Last night at this time we were at about 86 degrees. Of course, the front hadn't moved through yet. Now it's come through. Notice our winds coming in from the northwest at about 3 miles per hour. The dew point's still in the upper 60s, but I think that dew point number is going to come down overnight. Temperatures likely going to be close to it or matching that number first thing in the morning. So we could see some patchy, dense fog developing at daybreak where visibilities are reduced to about a half mile or less. There's no dense fog advisory. Just keep in mind that for the morning commute, there could be a few patches of that out there. Once the sun comes up and the temperature warms up, we get a separation between the temperature and the dew point. That fog's going to dissipate if it's there, and then the rest of the day is going to be mostly sunny, and temperatures are going to be at or just below average in the lower to mid 80s for highs. And remember, this is with lower humidity, so it really is going to be a pleasant day for Friday, also Saturday. Now, we are going to see a slow warming trend through next week, but overall, I think our temperatures do stay below 90 degrees. So our weather maker is the high pressure coming in from the north, moving in from the plains, getting closer to us as we get into the weekend. That's going to give us a light, dry north breeze. So the weekend ahead is just going to be fantastic. Not only is it going to be sunny and dry, but it's going to be cooler in the morning, and we're going to see those pleasant temperatures in the afternoon as well. No rain, though, coming, and that's not great news because we did get our drought numbers in again today, and it's expected the numbers are worse than last week. Even though we had that day of rain yesterday, you got to keep in mind it was just one day, and we don't have any rain in the forecast going forward. So now 7% of the states consider to be in a severe drought that's mostly in the northern delta. A third of the state is in a drought, mostly in the delta, North Mississippi, a little bit around, let's say, the Starkville area, maybe north of Meridian there, and then a few spots down there in the Pine Belt toward the Gulf Coast. We're still doing sort of okay here in central Mississippi, but notice 3/4 of the state now considered to be abnormally dry, and I think that could very well tip over into drought by the time we get our next advisory next Thursday, or certainly the one after that if we don't see a major storm headed this way sometime in early October. All right, tropical storm Umberto getting stronger. I think it's well on its way to becoming the third major hurricane of the year. The first one was a Category 5 Aaron, and then we just had Gabrielle, which I believe made it up to a Category 4, and Umberto forecast to become a major Category 3 before it weakens just a little bit next Tuesday, passing to the west of Bermuda. So passing between Bermuda and the East Coast. It's not going to make a landfall, but the next system that develops very well could. You see that cluster of storms near Hispaniola? The center of that is just emerging off the north coast of Hispaniola. And I think over the next 12 to 24 hours, it's likely going to get the name Imelda. It's got a 90% chance of developing. We think that it's going to move east of Florida, but then as it moves north, it could actually move into the Carolinas, possibly about 4 days or so from now. We'll see what happens there. Again, it's not even named yet. We don't have a track on the storm, but just something to keep in mind that it could get a name and it could make landfall sometime next week over the eastern part of the U.S. The bottom line for us, though, is if the storm stays to the east of us and it does not get into the Gulf, it is really going to be not an issue for us. So your forecast over the next 8 days, speaking of not an issue, weather is not going to be an issue. This weekend, great, 60 in the morning, mid-80s in the afternoon, lower humidity and sunny skies. We keep it sunny, but we are going to see a little bit of a warm-up next week. So mid-60s in the morning, upper 80s to near 90 in the afternoon, and that'll be the case for the first day of the State Fair, which is a week from today, next Thursday, and maybe a stray shower for the first weekend of the fair, but again, we don't see any major storms headed in our direction. All right, that's your forecast for this evening. Meteorologist Megan Hanna is going to be here tomorrow morning with your next update. Have a good night.